Hello, everybody, and welcome to the part two of media transcription service. It was long awaited. Initially, I thought that I would do that on, I believe, like two, but today is six. I was a bit unwell and a bit stressed about work. That, like, actually stalled my plans a bit. No worries. So today, like my all right. Perfect. So today what I want to show is just some more progress which I have done after my last stream. That includes, oh, let me share my screen. Screen. You. So that includes like improving security, some of the like addition of course rules, addition of local dev setup, like implementation of E2E that actually wasn't covered in my last stream. Adding a complete Docker setup like for all the Docker files, pushing the Docker images to Docker like Docker Hub, adding a CI pipeline which actually checks like if the front end is using any anti-patterns. I wanted to further go into CI/CD pipeline, but as I said, like I was a bit unwell for the last 2 to 3 days, just trying to get something done. All right, so the first thing which I want to show you guys is actual E2E. Uh, when we create a test, like we should have at least like like minimum three levels of test. First is the unit test, which actually checks the code blocks. Second is the integration test, which checks the like interaction between different modules or like different services. And third is the complete end-to-end testing. So I have used like Playwright here, and that is mainly for two reasons. First is because it provides us to like actually go into UI and click the actual items in a way that a human will interact with it. And secondly, what I can do is I can just go to my like setup for open code and ask it to run the Playwright script as like using the Playwright MCP, and that way it can intelligently like test it without requirement of any humans like in the loop. That actually automates a lot of things. So what basically is happening here is it will start the like both the backends and front end. If I go to playwright config.ts, like for the backends, it will just run npm run start port 3000 on backend, and it will start the backend. It will start the front end on like 5137, and like continue with one workers and like run all the tests in the test directory right here. Currently, I believe I have like 15 tests, and if I wanted to run all of this, I can just do like click on play button, which will just run like playwright test. Any which way is fine. I believe one of the tests is a bit flaky. The last time I checked it, but yeah. So one more caveat here is that whenever we run the test, it will not affect the like original database. I have created a different local database which it interacts with. It will add different fixtures so that whenever the like whole system runs, there will be some test samples it will be working on. This is fine. So yeah, this test has been a bit flaky, but that's hopefully others will pass. Perfect. Uh, the reason I have created like these specific tests is that I thought that there should be a one-to-one mapping for like different user stories. So if we go back to the project, uh, where was user stories? It was in like product requirement documentation and all of these items and whatever like the base capabilities of each individual test should be. So that was my like initial plan. There should be a lot more end-to-end like test for the production systems, but like this is just like showcase of how to map user capabilities or like capabilities which can be performed by the user to like actual like insightful signals. So, for example, let's say if this test started failing suddenly after a deployment, or like it's like runs in the CI/CD pipeline and fails, what we can say is that there is a degradation for this specific test due to our changes. And again, like this can be a bit flaky. So ideally, we should like run like end-to-end test like 2 to 3 times and ensure that like there is a 50 to 75% like success rate for like each individual test in order to like not get affected by flaky test and like then fail the pipeline incorrectly. Okay, so that was the complete idea. If we go into each like items, like it's a bit complex, but basically we just like get text if file not found is visible, then like just expect this, expect that, and all those. Like I will not go into playwrights like all these things. It took me a bit longer than expected, even with Gen AI, advent of Gen AI and all those things. But yeah, mainly because there was the interaction between FFmpeg and the transcription, which can take variable amount of time for like your like files. So that was one of the changes. The second change was regarding, I think I have under this. Okay, so like creating like a GitHub pipeline which will run every time a commit is there. If I'm right. Yeah, whenever I push to main, like this can be like much more nuanced, but since I know that I will be only pushing on main and like there are no pull requests, so like whenever there is a push on main, just run React Doctor and provide me with like deep insights on what is wrong. Currently, I believe it sits on like 9091. Let me just quickly run it. It has been like quite a time. React Doctor. What was the command to run local React Doctor? Oh, not this one. This one. Control Shift E. Verbose. Now this will just check your front end for like any items which are missing, any anti-patterns which we are using, and provide us with a code quality check. Something like a Sonar Cube for front end. Why is it like installing packages? It should ideally be there. No worries. Oh, that is not bad. Like 96 is like more than awesome. And thanks, it's already added. Skip. For diagnostic and this question. Where is my file pilot? Anyway, there should be something. Yeah, dslop and use exports. That is fine. We go to status config and like see how we are exposing the status config. I think it's just a like false flag. So that's fine. So basically we have like 100% maintainability right here. We can just set that item to be ignored. But dslop is like definitely helpful when you're working with agents. That's fine. So that way, like you can either manually test it or test it using like pipelines. So going back to the pipelines, if you go back here and maybe media transcription service, main repository, you will see a green tick here. And if you go into details, you can get what exactly is wrong. So again, like it's just like saying that, hey, your status config has like some problems. Here is the problem and all those things. Like that commit is problematic with exact line number. Uh, So that's all for the like CI related items. Is there anything which I need to showcase before I jump into docs? Yeah, doctor, and fixing his suggestions. So after I ran like the React doctor, I found out that some items can be elegantly done, like rather than using use states and all those things. I changed all of them in order to improve the score, and that can be seen in like this commit hash, adding React doctor and fixing its solutions. Going back to Docker Hub, I have also created media transcription backend and frontend. So like when I will be showcasing this, if there is any problem, I will just like start these items and showcase on this. Ideally, like I want to showcase locally, but this is just a backup in order to ensure that number one, these items remain like uh, can be like pulled by anyone and like tested, and number two, like just to ensure that if anything goes bad on like systems, like I have a backup. All right, uh, Docker Hub is done. Going to documentations. Perfect. So as I said last time, like human related documentations, I have added like links to Docker Hub here. Like you can use this command to immediately pull and test it. I have like explained the architecture backend, frontend, and E2E, and how to like run individual items. There, if you are running locally, you will require the like dependencies on your local. So FF, like how to get FFmpeg, how to get Whisper models. I'm using OpenAI Whisper. I think I might not have like discussed this, but like there is OpenAI Whisper real time as well, which will provide us with like a real time audio transcription service. But this is like this might not actually work on my PC, so I didn't use this. That's fine. I also added a pre-flight test. This was mainly because I basically was trying to experiment based on some other projects which I was doing, mainly like audio transcription, speaker diarization, and like in general audio related projects. One of the projects is like press to talk agent, wherein like you can just like speak whatever you want to say, that will be transcribed and diarized. Like if there are multiple speakers and then fed to LLM, the LLM will process it, and then LLM will generate output, and then that output will be like like spoken back to you. In that case, creating a complete persona if you provide it with some like good system prompt. That basically corrupted my local system because I had multiple Python installations. So I had to ensure that there is a pre-flight check whenever, like, basically this checks if your local Python installation has the correct Whisper model. If there are multiple Python installations, what happens in the runtime is that OS will decide which Python like will execute this for some strange reason. So this will just check, hey, like, do you have Python executable? And if that Python is executable has the Whisper model, which is getting used in our like application. If you are running Docker, like, don't worry about this. Like, you will never face this problem. Uh, and like how to manually like resolve that problem. That's fine. Uh, I've given steps to running it locally. I've given steps to test it, like be it in the backend unit test, front-end unit test, E2E playwright test, and I believe headed as well. So I will show you guys how to uh, use AI agents in order to run like one simple test, something like that. API documentation, but this is not just the API documentation. I have the actual Swagger link as well. So this is just for like immediate reference, but like once the app is running, you can just go to the Swagger endpoint and test it from there. This is Swagger, yep, API Swagger. So you can just go here and get in detailed way how to use these items. Configurations related to max size, maximum duration, like timeouts. Currently, I'm using like DB path. Initially, I thought that local, like in memory DB, would be awesome and easier to use. But then I thought, hey, like I want something persistent so that I can also do some E2E testing. So like now it's just a right. That's fine. Of course, origins have been registered. So whenever I run, be it in Docker, be it in like local, it will not uh, block request to the backends. We do have S3 skeleton, but like it's just like scaffolding for the future, like as per the like PDFs like wording. Like we don't need S3, but like just it's basically hot swappable once you give AWS access key, AWS secret key, and implement like all the S3 buckets rather than like storing the data locally. We can just move to S3. Tech stack, basic explanation of tech stack, known limitations. I explained why English only transcription is there and how we can move this or remove this and provide multilingual transcription. This has been like thought of like before implementation, so that's fine. Future improvements, what basically I want to do is that currently we are using a local queue in order to process each individual items, like using FFmpeg to extract like the audio or like the audio, and then like Whisper to then extract and the transcription. What if like we can just decouple the backend like BFF microservice, like which will directly interact with the front end, whatever the front end is, and the actual like transcription workers. So this will be responsible for extracting audio and creation of transcription, while this will be responsible for interacting with front end, ensuring that like maybe WebSocket, server-side events, like simple REST calls are correctly getting handled, rate limited, and like authorized and authenticated, something like that. Ideally, inside the trust boundary, like we don't need actual authentication and authorization. If we can do something like sidecar authorization in future, whenever the request comes, like it will be handled, like the authentication, authorization, logging, and all those things can be handled by like sidecar and not the actual business logic. So that way we can segregate those items, that aside. So these are like individually scalable in order to uh, like how do I explain this? In order to, so whenever there is a spike in like user usage, like uh, for example, people want to get the audio transcript of one particular show. So they can just like send a lot of requests, and then this part will be like just spawn of new items up to the maximum limit based on like what our configuration is, and that will be taken care of. And this part will be independently scalable, mainly in order to understand how much like items are in like the queue and like how much like transcription do we want to do. Currently, these two items are same, so when we scale this up, this will also scale up. And if something like fails in the whole pipeline, like it fails like totally. The advantage of doing this is that like we might not need the amount of transcription workers as much as we need the backend like BFF microservice. The transcription worker like has a like Redis right through cache just in order to number one like store the like recent transcriptions into the metadata DB and then like fetch it back. Media transcription service can also access the I should have like done something like that, but that's fine. Like media transcription service can also like read the metadata DB and get the latest transcripts. In order to not hit the metadata DB every time, what we can do is like maybe use different like caching algorithms. Okay, so since the topic of caching algorithms has come up, it would be better if we first understand what is the nature of our service and then select a caching algorithm rather than just saying, hey, LRU or like LFU or like any of the other caching algorithms is better. By default, let's just do like LRU and just let's see how the effective cache effective cache hit percentages and then like decide on that. Uh, Basically, it will store the most frequent items here and like return it without like hitting the transcription worker. Same with the media transcription service can like fetch items from our S3 bucket, and transcription worker has the right permission to add new transcription output into our S3 bucket. That way, like this will write and this will read, and that way we can provide a complete, holistic, but individually scalable microservice. This is again like a very uh, simple implementation. There are a lot of nuances here, but like that will also like give us a pathway to the future if we want to add more nuances. But like this is fine. EBI gateway just to ensure that like the resources are getting API gateway plus load balancer is dividing each of the requests equally to each transcription server, since there is no state here and there is no like sticky sessions. I believe like any of the individual media transcription service will be able to handle any of the requests. For example, if I want to get the transcript, I can just say, hey, give me transcript for like this ID. So what it will do is it will just go here and fetch the transcript and maybe like stream it or whatever. If it wants to upload it, like it will be like chunked upload and then sent to transcription worker. But again, like the state will not be stored anyway. So like load balancer without any sticky sections, just sending it to, let's say, round robin or like based on intelligent load LB things such as like currently this individual microservice is handling 15 requests. This is handling only 10. So let's like redirect it here will actually work quite flawlessly. CDN is just to like provide us provide the users with simple static items, maybe some like .ic or favicons, maybe like static HTML resources and all those items, like just the simple stuff. I am also thinking of storing the actual video and audio or even the transcription here, but I am not sure how or what exactly an intelligent CDN layer can do. Netflix has its own solution for this. It's called Open Connect, I believe, if I am correct. Yeah, so basically they provide these like server racks to all the cloud service providers at the edge, and that is the main reason why their videos and audios are loaded quite instantly. So that is one way of doing things, but that would be overkill for us. But like we can do that. Future features is just I explained last time, basically how we can scale this microservice up. Known limits. Yeah, my only pain point is this: there is no crash recovery, or for example, if your microservice dies and then you restart it, but now maybe your video file is corrupted, or maybe the video file is intact, but there is no transcript generated. So that part is still not done. I know that this is a extreme edge case, but before launching this application, we need to like think and have like backup for it. There is also a Splunk layer. I was parallelly trying to create an blog post about observability and like thought of using uh, like this microservice as just an example. This is not actually implemented, but just theorized about how we can like get individual signals from each of these items. So, for example, platform thread dashboard that will tell us like how the like individual thread pools are doing. Individual platform threads are doing, like how is the IO getting performed. API usage and metrics will basically provide us like with metrics from the API gateway. Database metrics is just the size chunk of different transcripts, maybe like the query timing and all those things. P95 and P99 items. Uh, then the third party API will just ensure that our connection with AWS is monitored correctly. For example, there is an outage in AWS. How will we identify it? Like in our case, if we don't have a third party API dashboard, our app will stop working. And we will see Splunk logs such as maybe uh, like for something like page expired or something like that. Uh, but then again, like we need to like dig through all the Splunk logs in order to identify what exactly is going on. So in order to prevent that from happening, we will like proactively have a third party API. We will have like circuit breakers here and here. We will have bulkhead patterns in order to like protect ourselves from this. Ideally, we should have a backup, maybe in a different region or a different service, just as a fallback. Okay, like when this will fail. Uh, and if this fails, like if the writing fails, like ideally we will just send the like request back to dead letter queue in case of SQS or Kafka. Pricing dashboard basically takes like information from API gateway. If there is a authentication or organization level identifier, we can just say, hey, like this one flow costs $15. Just an example, like $15. So I know your organization has done 100 such transactions. So your total cost is like organization wide per month is like 1,500, something like that. Uh, this combination ideally can also be provided by GCP APG. Uh, uh, yeah, APG, API management, but on the AWS side of things, I don't think like there is such service. And what we can do is we can have a load balancer. We can like do some like batch processing or like Cloudflare alerts based on API gateway or something like that, and then like generate some reports, either that or like in future. And like just for real-time monitoring, we can just have that like pricing dashboard. Hmm. Hmm. Redis catch hit and failure for Redis mainly to check how effective is our cache. We cannot just like blindly just add in cache and ensure that our application would work perfectly. Database metrics is done. Queue help just to monitor how many items are in like dead letter queue. Is it increasing? Is it decreasing? Based on the burn rate, we can just add some more alerts like detectors or alerts here and like ping anyone who is on call. So that would provide us with like a complete observability setup. Is there anything more? I have also updated some more of the backend documentations, if I remember correctly. I have also added demonstration files just in order to, rather than me going to downloads and going there, I will just take demo files from here and showcase that. Uh, that's fine. Just a skeleton. improvement audits, just showcasing like what all security items were open and like those were resolved. So just close those items, what all has been done and how it has been like done. Updating the dependency graph, just showcasing like hey, like all the items which I wanted to deliver have been delivered. Uh, Project progress. Yep. So that concludes, I believe, all the changes. Let me quickly check. Docker command push. Uh, and the Docker setup is also kind of optimized. So like for like each individual Docker file, we have like different layers. So for example, from Python, like I'm just like running this pip install and all these items and copying the uh, all of the items into package log. Sorry, package log and package JSON to my current Docker items, like running npm CI, uh, tuning it and exposing the port and just exposing the actual node server. I believe this is backend. Yep, this is backend, like mainly due to node disk. Docker Compose will just provide us with like a complete package, how to run the backend part, what all environment variables should be set, how to run front end, are there any volumes, like the restart policy and all those items. Front end Docker ignore. There was also this Nginx item which I added in front end in order to like just serve like the index.html and all this page. Nothing interesting to see here. Again, like this is something, truth be told, I uh, generated from the AI. I looked into like what are the scene defaults, but again, like the whole scaffolding, what all basic items are required. I just asked AI to generate it and just ensured that uh, like the proxy items are working correctly and the location is correct. That is the most important part. I need to dabble into like bare metal nginx, but Spring Boot already use like sets this internally, so never had to work on this, but that's fine. Like we will never manually set this ideally. Is there anything else that I wanna showcase? Is done, the document is done, media transcription, documentation is done. So I guess that's it. Like demonstration files are present here. All right. Just before I wrap everything up, let me show how we can do the agentic uh, like testing part. So for that, I will just go to cd media transcription service, just multiplex this left right, uh, setup. Backend, the front end. I will just close other items. Uh, I don't need this anymore. Just, yep, working as expected. Going back to sessions. Uh, uh, it already has all of its documentations in agent testing. So like this will ideally provide agent with all the way of running playwright. I just want to see what I can execute. A simple one. Let's do something as simple as home page renders, and it's very simple. Let's do navigation spec. E2E module and just provide the agent testing. Not sure if like this specific session had the context, but like just to be safe, I have added edit mode, so ideally it should like open up a screen for us. I will close this part. Not required anymore. Mhm. Mhm. This action to do. Let's just create a new session. No worries. Now it should ideally work. Yep. Let's see how it performs. Headless response. Perfect. And it will now open Chromium anytime now. Yep. It will automatically try to perform any action. Load test.sample mp3. Going to the fixtures as the E2E as intended. That is correct. It's directory with source transcription surveys from source pages. That is fine. Reading is quite simple. Or let me just, since this is a simple test, let me just ask it to open the first item. It will take a screenshot. So that is something I will showcase in some time. And it will just click on photo MP3. Hopefully. Should actually use a like well-trained model. Perfect. So it actually went to the actual item. And here is the data which we get on the quota.mp3, all of them. And with the transcription, perfect. Now coming back to I already know where the screenshots are, just to be sure. The screenshots are stored in .playwright.mcp, and it is 6, so something like this will be injected into the like agent, and from here the agent is able to like extract information. So yeah, we can do something like this to like test our like all of our playwright items, like just to use like playwright mcp dev tools that way. I guess that's it from my side. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you on Monday. Bye.